another wonderful day. Thank you for the opportunity to glorify you, to worship you. Thank you that we are able to come to a place that loves you and teaches your scriptures, Father. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today we pray for open hearts, open minds, open ears for your word. Please let your word affect us and change us to where we look more like Jesus, Father. And if you get an opportunity, please bless the mariners and help them not to choke. Thank you very much. It's in Jesus' most precious name that we all pray. Amen. Amen. Okay.
So you're not a Dodgers fan?
God is neutral.
My favorite baseball team is the Giants. My second favorite is the Mariners. My third favorite is anybody who's playing against the LA Dodgers.
That's right.
I guess that answers my question.
Not Dodgers fans. And they are in the World Series.
I hope their bus breaks down. Okay, the book of Ruth. We're gonna last night, and we'll pray for Jesse too on our way back out. I got a phone call I got a text message at 4 p.m. last night. Hey, you got something in the holster? So this is what you guys get. Because I've been working on this. I've been working on Ruth chapter 4 the last few weeks. This is where my studies have been. Is inside of this chapter. Writing a paper on it. Okay, so who's Ruth? Who's Ruth? What do we know about Ruth? Who is this woman?
She was a Moabite.
She was a Moabite. I agree. She was a Moabite. What did you say?
The daughter-in-law of Naomi.
Yeah.
Daughter-in-law of Naomi. That's absolutely correct. 100% yes.
And she married Boaz.
And she married Boaz. Yes.
In the line of Jesus.
What's that?
She was in the line of Jesus.
She was in the line of Jesus. Okay. Who else was she in the line of?
David.
Ah, David. Okay, now you guys have indicated a problem. And I wonder if you guys even know that you indicated a problem.
That she's a Moabite.
That she's a Moabite. And that she is in the line of David. Now this is a problem. Why is this a problem?
Because she's upset.
That's right. You nailed it. So why is this a problem? The Moabites. Why don't we like the Moabites? What did the Moabites do?
They did not greet Israel when they came out of Egypt.
That's right. You got it. They didn't greet. Yeah, they didn't help out. They were not a good host to Israel when they came out of Egypt, and therefore they're going to be. Has it persona non grata? They're going to be persona non grata for 10 generations whenever they try to enter into Jewish culture. And so we've got this woman. How do we get this Moabite here? When you read the book of Ruth, you start reading it, and you get all the way up until the last 4 verses. The only thing you can ask is, who cares? You're reading this story, and you have no idea how this changes your theology, your belief in God, your understanding of Scripture. You're reading through this, and it's like, okay, great story. I love it, God. Why is it here? And it's not until the last 4 verses that you go, oh my goodness, that did not end where I thought it was going to. And we have to remove ourselves from the comfort that we have in the Bible and understand that this is a big deal. And then to understand the implications of each of these people's relationship, this is a bigger deal than we give it credit for. So we have this woman, Naomi. She is in what we're going to see in chapter 4. We've got Naomi. We've got her daughter-in-law Ruth, and they've got nothing. They're destitute. They're looking for food. And the beginning of Ruth. We'll do some quick context. In the beginning of Ruth, they say it was in the time of Judges, and there was a famine. So, but Naomi says, hey, let's go home. Let's go back to Bethlehem. Let's go back. So they're in Moab because there was a famine, and we have to make some conjecture here. Naomi and her hubby went over to Moab. They were leaving home. They were leaving Bethlehem to find a better circumstance. And there they've got a couple boys in tow. And these boys married Moabite ladies. So now you've got these Moabite ladies in there. And that's how they get mixed up with Ruth and Oprah. Okay, so you've got, or Ophrah. Ophrah. Yeah. So you've got these two ladies over here. You guys want to hear something fun? You guys want to hear a fun piece of trivia? Okay, this is not true. This is not the Bible. I don't believe that this is true. I am not teaching that this is true. This is Jewish tradition. Jewish tradition says that Oprah. Okay, so Naomi had the two girls with her, and Naomi says to the two girls, "Hey, you guys go home. Go home. I'm gonna go sit in a hole and die." That's what she says basically. And Ruth says, "No, I'm coming with you, ride or die." And then Oprah says, "Okay, I will." And then, so the Jewish tradition is they were 4 miles from Moab, and when she said, "Yes, I'll leave," she cried 4 tears. And when she got back, she had 4 sons, Goliath and his 3 brothers. That's the Jewish tradition, okay, about this woman, that she turned into this big thorn in the side. And then David, who's in the line that we're going to go deal with, it all ties together. I don't think it's true. That's a pretty big tale, and it's not in the Bible, but it's Jewish tradition, and it's a fun one, right? Okay. So we've got where was it? We've got Naomi, and we've got Ruth, and they are coming home. So now Naomi, Jewish person, coming home to Bethlehem. Moab in tow, and now we're kind of caught up with let's go through here. I've got a couple of slides. So Ruth 1, these are little quick synopsises to get us to Ruth chapter 4. Ruth chapter 1. During the time of the judges, a famine drives Naomi and her family from Bethlehem to Moab. There her husband and sons died. Well, they died probably the famine, right? They're sitting there bringing all the food home to the ladies, and they work themselves literally to death. Probably. It doesn't say in the Bible. We can kind of figure that out. There, her husband and sons died, leaving Naomi and her daughters-in-law widowed. When Naomi decides to return to Judah, she urges her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab. Orpah leaves. Oprah's mom wanted to name Oprah Orpah from this, and she misspelled it on the that's the story Oprah tells.
Is that Jewish tradition too?
That's Hollywood tradition. That's even better. Hollywood tradition. Okay. So I can't help but say Oprah, you know? I can't help but say it. All right. When Naomi decides to return to Judah, she urges her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab. Orpah leaves, but Ruth pledges steadfast loyalty to Naomi, committing herself to Naomi's people and God. They arrive in Bethlehem at the start of the barley harvest, setting the stage for God's providential plan of redemption. Okay, everybody remembers this? Everybody's kind of remembering where we're at, what we're doing? Okay, a couple of the key verses in Ruth 1. Ruth 1, 16 and 17. Ruth's pledge of loyalty to Naomi. Where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. And everybody cheers, and everybody's excited, right? Yeah, they're a good honor. Ruth 1, 20 through 21. Naomi's expression of loss and bitterness. Do not call me Naomi. And Naomi meant, and now I'm reaching back here, joy, pleasure, this idea of happiness. Call me Mara, because this is bitterness. This is the word for bitterness. For the Almighty has made my life very bitter. So you can see this physical shift in her. She's letting everybody know. Ruth 2. Okay, we're dealing with Ruth 2. Ruth 2, Ruth goes to glean in the fields to provide for herself and Naomi, and happens to work in the field of Boaz. Oh my goodness gracious, how weird, right? Yeah. A relative of Naomi's late husband. So I want you to see this. This is a relative. Now, Naomi and Naomi's hubby, Elimelech, they took off out to Moab, right? The family did just fine. They stayed there in God's land, and they did just fine. They're still there. They're doing. They've lived through this pestilence. They've lived through all of this, and they're doing a-okay. That's important to note. Their family left God's territory, and they died. People are dying all around them. These people are thriving in God's land. Don't let that escape you, okay? A relative of Naomi's late husband, Boaz, notices her, shows kindness, and instructs his workers to leave extra grain for her. He offers her protection for generosity, praising her loyalty to Naomi. Now, how did she know? How did he know that Ruth is doing good to Naomi?
Bethlehem is a small town.
I saw gossip.
Small town. Yeah, I grew up in a small town. Oh boy, they knew everything at the corner store before you got there. So this is similar. These two ladies have gotten themselves a reputation. Now you've got this nice lady Naomi, where everybody kind of recognizes her and kind of doesn't. She's been gone for a little while, and she looks a little different, a little bitter. But she came home, and who is this she has in tow? Who is this Moabite that she has in tow? Who is this person? But she sure has treated this Jewish lady really well. Oh, she might not be that evil. She might actually be good. This is the talk of the town. Okay. He offers her protection and generosity, praising her loyalty to Naomi. Ruth reports back to Naomi, who recognizes Boaz as a potential kinsman redeemer. That's our family. That's our guy. This idea of kinsman redeemer. We're going to see that, especially in chapter 4. And what that is, it's more than just next of kin. This is a leader of the family. When you think about a family, one person comes to mind, the head honcho person, whoever that may be. This is your kinsman redeemer. And of course, there's specifications for it back in the day. We'll talk more about it later. Ruth reports back to Naomi, who recognizes Boaz as a potential kinsman redeemer, hinting at God's providential care and the unfolding plan of redemption. Questions? Comments? There's a couch over there. There's a good soft couch over there. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints? All right, let's go. Key verses in Ruth 2. Ruth's initiative to provide for Naomi. So she set out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. 2:11 and 12. Boaz commends Ruth's loyalty and prays for God's blessing. I've been told all that you have done for your mother-in-law. May the Lord reward you fully. Okay. Ruth chapter 3. This isn't the lesson, this is the context. Here we go. Ruth chapter 3. Following Naomi's guidance, Ruth approaches Boaz at the threshing floor, humbly requesting his protection as kinsman redeemer. Okay, so in fact, you've got this picture, and this is important because this is exactly where Ruth chapter 4 is going to pick up. So you've got the threshing floor. And you've got Boaz, the head guy. He's the head farm guy, right? And he's over there, and they're on the threshing floor, and they're beating out all the barley and putting it together, and they're doing that, setting the bundles aside, and they're having their dinner, and they're drinking their food. Why can't they go inside the house and have food and drink? Well, no, because if they left the threshing floor, robbers would come, steal all their stuff, and they wouldn't have their stuff anymore. That's why Boaz is sleeping inside this threshing floor room, even though he's the top dog, because he's a good leader. And he's going to sit there with his men and his people and the women folk. And by the way, all these ladies, they're out there with Ruth. So remember that you've got all of these other ladies out there picking the thing, doing the picking, putting them in the bundles. And you've got, so whenever we talk about the lady folk, remember we saw a bunch of lady folk, but we didn't see lady folk. Okay, so you got this threshing floor, and Naomi says, "Hey, you go over to the threshing floor, and then you go." He's going to be over there sleeping. He's going to have his food and his drinky, and he's going to be feeling a-okay, and he's going to be laying there. You go over there and lay on his feet. Now we think of that in our position as a seductive move, right? Like she's going in there in a slinky something or other, and that's not what's happening there. She is going and laying at his feet as in full submission. You are now. She has the position to demand that he is the kinsman redeemer. You are a kinsman redeemer. I demand that you, according to Leviticus 25, that you go and redeem my people, redeem my land, redeem me. Instead, she comes in full submission. And she lays down at the feet, humbly, order me what to do, master. And he says, whoa. And she says, put your blanket over me. Put your blanket over me and marry me, please. And he says, I'm an old guy. You're a beautiful young lady. I'm so surprised that you would pick me and not one of the other richer or poor or just better looking people. He's surprised that she, and then he says, I am very attracted to you because of your loyalty. So you've got these people, she's attracted to him and respects him and wants to be, in spite of looks and in spite of anything else. And she's attractive to him because of her loyalty. You've got two people who are enjoying each other for the real thing, the character, the integrity of each other. Okay? Does everybody kind of get that? Okay, so now, here, I don't even know if I've heard the rest of this. Boaz responds with honor and reassurance, praising her faithfulness and integrity, but notes that another relative has a closer claim. Dun, dun, dun. There's somebody else who has a right to the land and the pretty girl and all the things. Okay. He promises to resolve the matter according to the law, because he's a good dude, showing both his willingness to act in God's providential timing in securing redemption for Naomi's family. But he says, hey, you go ahead and you sleep here, because it's dark outside and there's bad people walking around. You sleep here. I'm going to be over here with my men. And then whenever she leaves at the morning time, he says, hey, don't tell anybody you're here, okay? Why would he say that? They've been good. They've been character-filled. They've had integrity. They haven't consummated a relationship here. Why did he say that?
Small town.
Small town. But why is it important?
For reputation.
More than that. More than that. He's about to... Okay, now hold on to that. Hold on to that little nugget. Why did he say that? Because going into Ruth 4, we're going to see something. And I want you to just hold on to that little nugget. Okay. So, sun's coming up. They open the grain doors. He shoes and he gives her 6 bushels, six pieces of this barley, and there's symbolism behind it that he's hoping for 6. They believe that it was the 6th line of great people in this line up to Jesus, and like there's some symbol. I don't know. It's a lot. I didn't get too deep into it. But she's leaving. She's got a big old thing of barley with her. Okay, don't tell anybody. I'm going this way. He doesn't even go home. He goes straight to the thing we're about to see. Okay? The key verses. Ruth's humble request to Boaz. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family. 3:11. Boaz acknowledges Ruth's noble character and assures her of his commitment. The Lord bless you, my daughter. I will do for you all that you ask. Stage is set. John Piper says about Ruth, at one level, the message of the book of Ruth is that the life of the godly is not a straight line to glory, but they do get there. Okay. Now then, let's talk about this. Okay. Redemption requires a willing and faithful redeemer. Redemption requires a willing and faithful redeemer. Let's read the first 12 verses. Okay, they're not that bad. Okay, I was scared that they were going to be so small that I'd get everybody yelling at me. Okay. Okay, so where was he? He was over at the threshing floor. He didn't even go home. Boaz went to the gate of the town and sat down there. You've got the city gate. What's so important about the city gate?
That's where business is conducted.
This is where business is conducted. This is where all the important people hang out. This is where, if you're going to bring people on charges, if you're going to do something, it's done at this city gate. Very important. This is like I'm going down to the courthouse. And in fact, all the old men went down to the courthouse and drank coffee there. So he went over there, and he's sitting over there at the city gate with his cup of coffee. Boaz went to the gate of the town and sat down there. Soon, the family redeemer Boaz had spoken about came by. In Hebrew, they say, Mr. So-and-so. Because, why did they name him? Why did they name the guy? Because of his actions for one, and it wasn't that important for two. Boaz had spoken about came by. Come over here and sit down, Mr. So-and-so. So, Mr. So-and-so went and sat down. The other guy, the closer kinsman redeemer. Okay. Then Boaz took 10 men of the 10 elders and said, okay, so let's go. All the important guys, come over here. I want you to watch this. We're going to do some business over here. Sit here. And they sat down. He said to the redeemer, Naomi. Now, who's Naomi? She's the old lady, right? She's past childbirthing age. She's, right? Right? We've got a lady who's past her prime for childbirth. Naomi, who has returned from the territory of Moab, is selling the portion, the land, portion of the field that belonged to your brother Elimelech. So it's a land deal with this little old lady who's probably going to die in a week and a half. So that's what we're dealing with here, right? That's what this guy sees. Okay, this guy's selling a piece of land with this old lady? I thought I should inform you. Buy it back in the presence of all these important guys, in the presence of the elders of my people. If you want to redeem it, do it. But if you don't want to redeem it, tell me, so that I will know, because there isn't anyone other than you to redeem it, and I am next after you. And what does the guy say? He's drooling. I'll take it. I want it. Give me the land and the old lady. I'll take care of her until she dies, and then I've got all this land for nobody, for me. That's what he says here. I want to redeem it, he answered. So again, I ask you, why was it so important that nobody knew about Ruth leaving the threshing floor? It's a small town, and he didn't want this guy to be tipped off that there was another part of this deal. He didn't want this guy to be prepared. He blindsided this dude. He came from left field. This guy's over here just trying to have a cup of coffee, and the guy says, hey, you want all this land? Sure, I want the land. And all I got to do is keep this lady alive for a week and a half? This sounds perfect. This is a great deal. Okay. Then Boaz says, on the day, and he's restating fact. Everyone would have known this. But this guy was missing a little puzzle piece. Then Boaz said, on the day that you buy the field from Naomi, you will acquire Ruth the Moabite. Ooh. The wife of the deceased man, to perpetuate the man's name on his property. Uh-oh, wait a second. Okay, now wait, I've got to think about this. There's another business deal here. Now, if I've got to split up all my property with that property, and this person's going to get a piece of my property, how about my kids? My kids are going to get a shorter piece of the pie? And wait a second, I was in it for that old lady, and I was going to get all of his property, and I was going to have an even bigger... Well, hold on, wait a second here. Or maybe it's this. I got a wife at home, and I don't know if she'd be too happy about me bringing this woman here, and I've got to go propagate the name and make it. No, I'm going to pass. Maybe that was it. Or maybe I have no sons yet from my wife. And this kid would take everything, take the generous portion. We don't know. Either way, what does it do? The Redeemer replied, I can't redeem it myself, or I will ruin my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption, because I can't redeem it. So he gives up on it. Didn't take him long. Do we see kind of what's going on here? And so Boaz, now, where do you think Ruth and Naomi were right now? Where do you think they were? I bet you they were behind the curtain or over here, like watching this thing happen, right? Small town, they went over the city gate, and they're over there looking. And whenever this guy said, yeah, I'll take him, I bet you they went, ooh. And then Boaz, goes and throttles the guy and says, you know what? You're going to get this other thing that you didn't plan on. And he says, no. And I bet you that was so uplifting and exciting and encouraging for these women, because they knew that they were going to be with this good guy. The good guy. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
Art of the deal.
Right? This is a businessman. Hey, this guy, he said, I'm an old guy. Old guy got skill. Old guy got wisdom. Yeah, gray hair.
I know it's part God's plan and all that, it had to be, but there's times I wonder, why didn't he just marry Naomi? I mean, they were more contemporaries, and
Well,
she was also a widow.
well, and I wonder, because it's so important, why? The answer is the end of the book. The answer is verse 22. The answer is verse 22 because of Jesus. Because we got Jesus, right? Like this thing, remember, we've read it before. We've read the book 15 times before. But while you're reading it, these are questions. And it's like, who cares? Because Jesus. Because David. Because Ruth this Moabite lady was meant to be in the line of Christ. This Moabite lady was meant to be in the line of David. This book, why this book is in there, and why it's so important, and why it has gone through the test of time, is because in Jewish tradition, this has been the book to ratify David. This is why David is. This is why this Moabite was okay. This is why it was okay to go through this. This book was to signify how important Ruth was, the providence of God, and why it's okay that David came from a Moabite. Yeah.
And I think another reason is that according to Jewish law, when a man died and left a widow, his brother was required by law to marry the brother's widow, have a child, and so there was a levirate that rule. So the Redeemer was required to do that. That's why Boaz couldn't just go and marry because he wasn't next in line.
Levirate, so this is the levirate law. The levirate law stated that your brother, so brother-in-law. Your brother-in-law, you know where that came from, where it stems from? Because whenever you had to go and be the husband. You had to go husband and make sure that lady had a son to go ahead and keep the family name going. So, and then keep that family going while the husband had died. Okay, I'll keep that farm going. Okay, the boy comes up. Okay, he can take care of it now. Okay, it's yours. And then they can go and do the thing. You're right. This is, and then the land grab that goes with it. Okay, and I think I wrote it down here because you're right. This was their role. And then Deuteronomy 25, 5 and 10. This is where the art of taking on the brother's widow. Deuteronomy 25, 5 and 10. We're not going to read it, but hold it in your mind. The Redeemer said, I can't redeem it myself, or I'll ruin my inheritance. Take my right of redemption because I can't redeem it. We get some narrative here. At an earlier period in Israel, a man removed his sandal and gave it to the other party in order to make a matter legally binding concerning the right of redemption or exchange of property. Now, Deuteronomy 25, 5 and 10 says something else about this too. Whenever a fellow says, no, I won't redeem them. Do you remember that? Takes the sandal off. I've got to take my sandal. No, I'm not going to. No. Here's my shoe. And then the woman spits in his face.
Yeah.
They left that part out.
Yeah.
Because they've got a love affair over here. Like this was the desired effect, right? Here's my shoe. You can have my shoe. Now the guy's got to walk home with one shoe on. And right? And somebody's carrying around a dirty slipper. But I think that Naomi and Ruth were sitting over there. And I think that whenever he finally said, you could see the joy in his face that he got what he was looking for. He wanted this lady Ruth. You got these two ladies who are being redeemed, and you've got the providence of God coming together. The reason I think that they didn't do the whole spit in the face thing, I think that there was a joyful moment here. And in fact, I think I'll read a verse that'll kind of support that here in a second. So we talked about the legally guy walking around with one slipper. This was the method of a legally binding transaction in Israel. So the Redeemer removed his sandal and said to Boaz, "Buy back the property yourself." Hooray! Okay. Let me make sure.
It's interesting how they took something that was supposed to. Like in Deuteronomy, when it said that if the brother-in-law refused to marry, that the widow would take his sandal and spit in it, like it was supposed to be something shameful, and they just turned it into, this is the way we do business.
Yep, that's right. I'm so happy that they've decided to stick to biblical law. Wonderful, good on you. But using it in removing the emotion that was built for, the shame that should have invoked in him, because that's what it's missing, right?
Yeah.
Is the human.
He's like, here's my sandal.
Here's my sandal. Check. And he's got another sandal in his backpack. Throws it on there. Okay. just in case I had a land deal to deal with today. You know, like you're right. You're right. Okay, it highlights. So what's the big lesson here is that redemption has a cost. Redemption had a cost for Boaz. Now, the same reason that cat didn't want to do it, the same reason that Mr. So-and-so didn't want to do it, this guy said, I'll take it. Tell me this guy didn't have a wife that he was going to have to go deal with. Tell me that this guy didn't have people, right? Tell me that this guy didn't have people that he might have to split some of his land off for. This guy is willing to pay the cost to redeem these people because of her integrity, because of her character. He's willing to. He didn't have to. So, what I want you to remember is redemption has a cost. Boaz commits himself as redeemer, fulfilling the covenant duty. Okay, look at this. Verse 9. Boaz said to the elders and all the people. So he had the people there. He had all the guys there, all the important people there. You are witnesses today that I am buying Naomi and everything that belonged to Elimelech, Shilon, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabitess, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, to perpetuate the deceased man's name on his property, so that his name will not disappear among his relatives or from the gate of his hometown. You are witnesses today. So you've got all the guys, all the important people, all the decision makers of this town. Yes, sir.
Is there any financial transaction?
Is there a financial transaction? I don't believe so.
It's just a passing of the land.
Yeah, we've just got the deed. The deed is so the deed was written, and is there a paper deed? I doubt it. You're dealing with from this rock to that tree to that stone over there. You're dealing with, and then the knowledge of family lines. Was there a deed? I don't think so.
Well, I mean,
Right.
take it for 30 shekels.
No, it's probably like probate. Like Elimelech is dead.
Yeah.
What do we do with his property?
Yeah.
And so they're like almost settling out the estate.
Yeah. And I don't know if there was a bunch of money to be had anyhow, because this is a time where people are just barely holding on. And yeah,
It probably wasn't.
sitting there, just sticks and stones. Yeah, no money. Just dealing, but the Redeemer now owns it forever, right? So this is the time of redemption. So the year of Jubilee is going to come and go, and this cat's still going to own it because now he's taking it, he's redeeming it for them, and then it'll be for that family line. So this guy's taking it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there's a son that is going to be able to go and run this thing for them.
It just seems odd that Naomi is, when they're going in, any involvement, she's over there, and all of a sudden they're making decisions about her.
She's not capable.
She's not yet, she's a woman.
She's not capable. She can't. She's not a decision maker due to the social system. We've got cultural differences here. We've got a social system where this could it be done? It could be done. Could Naomi and Ruth pull it off? Absolutely not. You're not going to get a field running and get everything in order, because you see these powerful ladies who go out and run businesses that we would consider Fortune 500 companies, right? You've got people over there making cloth, pulling purple out of these weird little mussels on the creek. You've got these people who are doing these things, but these two, could they? Maybe. Would they be able to? Probably not. You've got a senior citizen lady and a 40-year-old lady who's trying to take care of her and doesn't even have enough money to put food on the table for the two of them. Impossible.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it for themselves. Somebody had to do it for them. Wait, That sounds like somebody I know. They couldn't do it on their own. They needed someone to do it for them. It's a weird picture. Okay, Boaz took his own fate in his own hands. He may not have. Remember, he could have lost. That cat could have said, "Hey, I want that land. I don't care what it takes." He could have lost. He made a big bet here. This is a big bet on Boaz. Tony Evans, whereas the man was concerned with ruining his own inheritance, Boaz's motives were more selfless. He acquired Ruth and the property out of concern for others, to perpetuate the deceased man's name on his property so that his name would not disappear among his relatives or from the gate of his hometown. That's the verse. This sacrifice brings to mind this New Testament principle. Whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses life because of me will find it. Matthew 16 and 25. Often, blessings follow when we lay down our priorities for the sake of God's kingdom. Selfishness tends to turn off the blessing faucet. Selfishness tends to turn off the blessing faucet. Okay. I put a lot of extra stuff in there, but we're not going to make it, so I'm going to get rid of the extra stuff. Elders blessed Boaz and Ruth. Now, this is that part I was telling you about. I think that everybody could smell love in the air, and that we had the faces of the people. You could see that these people wanted to be together. All the people who were at the city gate, including the elders, all the people. So now we've got a crowd. Now we've got a whole bunch of people. And the elders who were sitting around them, who were actually a part of the deal, we are witnesses. Yea, we are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is entering your house like Rachel and Leah. What's so important about that? Right? Between the two of them, they had 13 kids, but they were sister wives. Right? Literally, sister wives. And you're telling this to a woman who's about to become a sister wife, right? I believe that Boaz probably had a wife. I think it's funny. Who together built the house of Israel. May you be powerful. This is what the people are saying. This is what the people are saying. This isn't like, there's something going on here that we don't see. There is some sort of romantic feeling, or this, the Ruth went up and hugged the guy, or something. Something happened here for these people to be so excited. May you be powerful in Ephrath. Where's that? Where's Ephrath? Anybody heard of that word? Bethlehem. That's Bethlehem. And your name well known in Bethlehem. May your house become like the house of Perez. Who's Perez? Who's Perez? Okay.
The son of Judah.
Okay, we go back. This is a story you remember. You remember this story. Remember, Mama's giving birth, and she knows she's got twins, and the maid lady was over there, and one kid popped his hand up, and they put a red tie around the hem, and they said, "Okay, that one came out first," and then the kid popped his hand back in, and then the other baby popped out. Okay, that's correct. The son Tamar bore to Judah because of the offspring the Lord will give you by this young woman. Okay. That's in Genesis 38, 27 and 30. The Bethlehem, you can see that deeper in Micah 5:2. Okay, we got the sister wives part now. Okay, that guy, keep going. Redemption requires a willing and faithful redeemer. We got 5 more minutes. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, just the important stuff. The Lord enables conception. Now watch this. We got an older guy here, right? We got an older guy here, and we got this, I probably figured 35-year-old, 40-year-old lady. Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. He slept with her, and the Lord, what? Granted conception to her. Providence of God. The Lord granted conception. The Lord allowed conception. Everybody understand? This is from God. This is a God thing. And she gave birth to a son. She gave birth to a son. That's important. You put it in there for a reason. The Lord granted conception. The Lord allowed it. God has a plan. God has a plan, boys and girls. Women praise God for providing a redeemer for Naomi. The women said to Naomi, "Blessed be," okay, this is the women. What women? These are the women that were out in the fields. These were the women in the house. These were the family women that were all there, all doing the thing. It looks weird if you only read chapter 4. It doesn't look so weird if you read the entire book in one shot. Because we saw these ladies doing other things. "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you without a family redeemer today. May his name become well known in Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. Indeed, your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Okay. What are they focusing on? What do they focus on? Where's their focus? What are they focusing on? The Redeemer. The Redeemer. Right? Not left you without a family Redeemer today. May his name, whose name? The Redeemer, be well known. He will renew, who will? The Redeemer. Indeed, your daughter-in-law who loves you is better than your 7 sons, has given birth to him, the Redeemer. Redeemer, 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 Redeemer. Okay, it's all about this Redeemer. Verse 16, Naomi took the child, placed him on her lap, and he became a mother to him. Naomi nurtures Obed, the reversal of her emptiness. She, look at this. I want you to notice this. Naomi was so empty. She had lost everything. She was trying to get rid of her daughters-in-law so she'd go and sit in a hole and die. And now she has this, this reversal. Now she's no longer this upset woman. Now she's back to being happy and joyful again because of what God has done. The neighbor women said, "A son has been born to Naomi." Look what they said. A son has been born to Naomi. I read it a couple verses ago. It wasn't her. And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. It had to come through Ruth. Notice that Naomi became the mom. Okay. Okay, I had a bunch of stuff here. Consummation of marriage leaves the family heir Obed, which is also the redeemer for Naomi, and the family name. The women praise God, and the blessing on Naomi. Obed is cared for by name. Because, hey, I don't want you to miss this. If this is your first time reading this, and you knew everything else about the Bible, you knew about Jesse, you knew about David, you knew about Jesus, you knew about all these things, and then you take yourself out and you read this book, you're reading it up until this verse, and you're like, who cares? Who cares? Because how does this change my vision of the Bible? I don't care. And then you find out, then God, wham! This is why. Because Obed is the father of Jesse, who's the father of David. And you're like, oh my gosh, mind blown. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming, right? Because you read this whole story, and then you go back and read it again, and you see the providence of God working. How come both the guys died? How come they went over there? Why did all these things? Because it had to be Ruth. Because it had to be this Redeemer. And you see this Redeemer motif, and we can't help but foreshadow it to Christ, right? We see this thing where they couldn't do it. They were gone. They tried, they went to Moab, they tried it their way, they did it their way. And they couldn't get the job done. They failed. And they come back and they're redeemed by somebody who can. They can't, I can. We have to see this. The Redeemer motif is alive and well in this passage. Okay. God's redemption points forward to his greater plan. We see this idea in this story. Now we're starting to understand. We're seeing the hand of God moving things aside and putting things in place. And then we get down to this. Now these are the family records of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. Okay, we got a pretty good line here. Obed fathered Jesse. Jesse fathered David. Made it all the way back to Matthew chapter 5. And now we get to see, and that's my family just before another line of people that ends in Christ. How important, how powerful is this? The foreshadowing of Christ inside the Old Testament. Okay, I had a ton of stuff that I didn't read. We've got 3 minutes. Okay, everybody talk about it. Let's go. Questions, comments, concerns? Yes?
Do you know who the author of Ruth is?
Do we know who the author of Ruth is? I did know. And then it's a statement. Is it? Okay, so we're in the time of Judges. No, I lost it.
My book says someone with duties in King David's royal household, or perhaps a scribe during his reign.
Okay, so.
It's not identified in the
Okay. Yeah, when I
But
wrote.
it says during the period of Judges, they think 1375 to 1050 BC.
Okay.
But the book was likely written during his reign, which was 1010, David's reign 1010 to 970.
I'm glad you rushed Bible today. Thank you.
I couldn't hear, but it's, from what I just read, it says it is unknown, but tradition ascribes it to the prophet Samuel.
There you go. Yeah, because I buy that. I'll buy that. The reason you guys are stuck with listening to Ruth chapter 4 is I just wrote a 30-page paper on it. My mind is just twisted on it. Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, what else?
So where's your 30-page paper?
It's on here. You want it? We can read it right now.
That's it, we just heard it?
No,
Shortened version.
well, yesterday morning I built a sermon. I wrote a sermon yesterday morning to attach to the thing. And so this is, you got the cliff notes of the sermon I wrote for it. So
you have it online or something like that?
no, because I'm saving it in my back pocket in case Bobby calls in sick. Then I'll just go up to the front and you got to keep something in the back pocket, you know?
So should we wait till our Pastor Bobby needs to take somebody out? Just
But then I would get to hear Pastor Bobby. Jesus, big deal.
You let us take it.
Cameron,
Yes.
I know city names are used in multiple places. Is this the Bethlehem? The Bethlehem? Just outside yours.
I don't know, maybe we're ascribing Boaz too much credit, and that maybe all of his intentions were not so pure. I think that he saw this sweet young girl and she wanted him, and so he was loving that. And
So I think the biggest answer to that, the biggest argument for or against it, we would have to read the end of chapter 3. And because in chapter 3, that's when you see this love relationship begin. Just watching this, you're right. It kind of feels like that, right? And maybe he just saw a hot chickadee with a couple acres of fertile land. And why not? This sounds like a pretty good deal. In chapter 3, at the end of chapter 3, we see them kind of falling in love, and we see their intentions to the best of the author's ability. That we the reader, are led to believe that it was because of integrity and because of this loving relationship. The biblical writer meant for us to think that he had good intentions, but you're right, because that's how it could look. Because you've got this pretty girl with a bunch of land. What's not to be attracted to here?
See, I guess I see that completely opposite.
Is that right?
I
Tell
see him as doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing. It had a cost. There was a cost, but there was also a reward. There was a reward. I've got, oh darn it, I got to be the husband. I've got to perform husbandry duties to this young lady, and then I've got to go and till up all the ground over. There's a benefit. There's a benefit. There's a cost, but there was positive, and they loved each other, so they got to be together. So yes.
Well, right from the beginning, when you first noticed her, you were let's leave these gleanings.
Yeah.
And then he also told his male servants to stick away from her before he really knew her. So
Yeah.
it seemed to me like there was some attraction there.
And he never went after her. he never went after her. He said, hey, drop some extra barley for her, make sure that she's taken care of. And he never went after her. In fact, he was surprised. He was like, you want me? I'm an old guy. You want me? So, yes, ma'am.
To me, it feels like he's the nice guy. You know, they always say, nice guy finishes last. In this case, is true redemption in another way. And that's how I feel as well. Pat over there said it's that, that there's something else there.
Yeah. My brother.
I guess I look at it that I don't think God would bless the whole thing if we fall after lust.
And he doesn't make any lustful statements. Like, he doesn't make any lustful. Yes, sir.
I love the Jewish tradition around this story. According to Jewish tradition, Boaz was sterile.
Okay.
Because that explains the line in Ruth where God opened her womb and basically miraculously provided this offspring.
Excellent.
For them. And it also has that, according to Jewish tradition, Boaz died on her wedding night.
Really?
Yes.
Wild.
So they had the one
experience.
One experience.
Yes.
She got pregnant. He died. Which would explain why Naomi basically was it talks about a baby being placed on Naomi's knee and that Naomi kind of raised her.
Yeah. So with that logic, Obed now he reigns over all of it, right? So he would be the only heir of the deal.
Right. So he not only got, Ruth is the one that kind of made out of this deal.
You're right. And so that's good. Okay, we're out of time. Pat, would you mind praying us out?